If you live with diabetes and feel confused about fruit, you're not alone. This uncertainty affects millions every single day. One doctor says avoid fruit, another says moderation is fine, and online advice only makes the confusion worse. That fear causes some people to avoid fruit entirely, while others unknowingly choose options that spike their blood sugar. What if the real problem isn't fruit itself, but not knowing which fruits and how to choose wisely? I see people freeze in the produce aisle, unsure which fruit is safe, and fear quietly guides their decisions. Online tips, headlines, and opinions often contradict each other, leaving people unsure whom to trust. Some avoid fruit completely, others ignore guidance altogether, and both paths can work against stable blood sugar. Today, I'll show you a clearer, science-based way to enjoy fruit without fear or confusion. Many fruit myths sound convincing, but fear grows when opinions replace clear science and practical understanding. Some people are told to cut fruit completely, even though that advice often ignores nutrition and real life. Others hear that all fruit is fine in moderation, without guidance on portions, timing, or type. The real problem isn't fruit, it's confusion, and clarity is exactly what we're building here today.
Agreed.
You may hear that berries are safe, yet no one explains why, how much to eat, or when they truly work best. Others are warned that tropical fruit is dangerous, without context, portion guidance, or real-world balance. In real life, extreme rules fail, especially for older adults managing health day after day. What truly matters is learning how to make smarter choices, not following rigid rules that don't last. Let me be clear, there is no forbidden fruit, and the real issue is understanding portions, timing, and informed choices.
Yes, I see.
When you replace fear with understanding, fruit becomes a tool you can use wisely, not something to avoid. Managing blood sugar with fruit comes down to three things: what you choose, how much you eat, and when. In the next part, I'll explain the simple science that makes fruit choices clear and manageable. When it comes to fruit and blood sugar, simple science cuts through confusion and replaces fear with clarity. Instead of opinions, we use clear measurements that show how different fruits actually affect glucose.
Exactly.
You don't need complex formulas, just a few clear rules that fit real life and everyday meals. This foundation helps bring clarity to how different fruits fit into daily understanding. The glycemic index tells us how fast sugar enters your bloodstream, and speed matters more than most people realize. When a fruit has a high glycemic index, glucose rises quickly, which is harder for the body to manage. Low glycemic index fruits release sugar slowly, helping keep blood sugar smoother and more predictable. But speed alone isn't enough, because we also need to know how much sugar actually enters the body. Glycemic load tells us how much sugar enters your body from a realistic portion, not just how fast it arrives. Think of glycemic index as speed, and glycemic load as the total amount of sugar your body must handle. Fruits with a low glycemic load are generally easier to manage and fit better into daily routines. That's why portion size matters, and why we compare fruits using the same realistic serving. To compare fruits fairly, we use the same portion size, so the numbers truly reflect their real impact. We're not comparing a tiny bite to a huge slice, just realistic servings people actually eat. This approach removes guesswork and replaces opinion with clear, measurable science you can trust. With that foundation, we're ready to rank fruits by how well they fit stable blood sugar. Let's start with the good news. These are fruits you can enjoy with confidence when blood sugar matters. These fruits score well on both glycemic index and glycemic load, making them easier to manage. I'll count down from number 10 to number 1, so you know exactly where to begin. Let's begin with number 10, a fruit that looks sweet but behaves surprisingly well. Number 10 is the pear. Sweet on the tongue, yet surprisingly gentle when it comes to blood sugar response. Despite its sweetness, pear has a low glycemic index and a very modest glycemic load in a normal portion. The natural fiber in pears slows sugar absorption, helping glucose rise more smoothly instead of sharply. Enjoy pears whole, with the skin on, and keep portions modest to get benefits without unwanted spikes. Even with safe fruits like pears, portion size matters because larger amounts still increase the total sugar load. Eating pears alongside a balanced meal helps slow absorption even further and supports steadier glucose levels. Pears are easy to find, affordable, and simple to include, which makes them a sustainable choice over time. That's why pears earn their place as a smart, reliable starting point on our list of better fruit choices. One common mistake is peeling pears, which removes valuable fiber and makes sugar absorb faster than necessary. Keeping the pear whole, with its skin, preserves fiber and helps your body handle the natural sugars more smoothly. Eating pears consistently in sensible portions matters far more than trying to be perfect once in a while. With pears covered, let's move on to number 9, another familiar fruit with powerful advantages. Number 9 is the apple, often called nature's doctor, and it earns that name for more than tradition. Apples have a low glycemic index and a modest glycemic load when eaten in a normal portion. The soluble fiber in apple skin, called pectin, helps slow sugar absorption and supports metabolic balance. To get the full benefit, eat apples with the skin on and keep the portion reasonable. Even healthy apples can raise glucose if portions grow too large, so size still matters. Eating an apple alongside a balanced meal helps your body manage sugars more smoothly. The fiber in apples helps you feel fuller longer, reducing the urge to snack impulsively. With apples covered, let's move to number 8, a fruit many people overlook. Turning apples into juice removes fiber and concentrates sugar, changing how your body responds. Choosing the whole apple keeps fiber intact and helps slow sugar absorption naturally. Keeping a whole apple handy makes it easier to choose wisely when hunger hits. That's why apples remain a reliable ally for stable blood sugar when eaten whole and in balance. Number 8 is passion fruit, a small fruit with a surprisingly powerful profile for stable blood sugar. Despite its bold taste, passion fruit has a very low glycemic index and a modest glycemic load. Its fiber and natural antioxidants help slow absorption and support overall metabolic health. Enjoy passion fruit in small portions, eaten slowly to get the benefits without overdoing the sugar. With passion fruits, small portions are key because even gentle fruits add up when quantity increases. Eating passion fruit with meals rather than alone helps keep blood sugar changes smoother. Passion fruit also supports relaxation and sleep, which indirectly helps blood sugar regulation. With passion fruit covered, let's move to number 7, where form matters as much as the fruit itself. One mistake is turning passion fruit into sweetened juice, which removes fiber and concentrates sugars unnecessarily. Eating passion fruit whole keeps the fiber intact and helps your body process its natural sugars more gently. Because it's intense in flavor, smaller amounts are satisfying, making portions easier to control. That's why passion fruit earns its place as a smart, controlled option for stable blood sugar. Number 7 is the orange, but only when eaten whole, because form changes how your body handles sugar. When you juice an orange, you remove fiber and deliver sugar much faster than eating the fruit whole. The fiber in whole oranges slows absorption, helping keep blood sugar changes smoother and more predictable. For stable blood sugar, eat your orange whole and skip the juice, even when it's freshly made. Even whole oranges should be eaten in reasonable portions, because quantity still affects total sugar load. Eating oranges with meals, rather than alone, helps keep blood sugar responses more controlled. The real trap isn't the orange itself, but drinking juice that delivers sugar too quickly. When eaten whole and in moderation, oranges can fit well into a balanced approach to blood sugar. Peeling away membranes or choosing processed forms removes fiber and changes how quickly sugar enters your system. Eating oranges as whole segments preserves fiber and helps keep absorption steady. Whole segments take longer to eat and feel more satisfying, making portions easier to control. That's how oranges belong in your plan: whole, mindful, and used with intention. Number 6 is kiwi, a small fruit that offers a double benefit for blood sugar and overall cardiovascular health. Kiwi has a low glycemic index and a modest glycemic load when eaten in sensible portions. Beyond glucose control, kiwi contains nutrients that support healthy blood pressure, which matters for many older adults. That combination of gentle sugar impact and heart support is why kiwi ranks so high on this list. Kiwi is gentle on glucose, but portions still matter because larger amounts increase the total sugar load. Eating kiwi alongside a meal helps keep sugar absorption slower and more predictable. Kiwi also supports digestion, which can make healthy routines easier to maintain day after day. That's why kiwi stands out as a small but powerful ally for balanced blood sugar. A common mistake is mixing kiwi into sugary desserts, which cancels its gentle effect on blood sugar. Eating kiwi on its own or with meals works better than pairing it with added sugars. Small amounts eaten consistently matter more than occasional large portions, especially for glucose control. With kiwi covered, let's move to number 5, a fruit many people already love. Number 5 is strawberries, a fruit that's gentle on blood sugar and especially supportive of heart health. Strawberries have a very low glycemic load, meaning they cause only a small rise in blood sugar.
Yes.
They're rich in antioxidants that support blood vessels, an important benefit for people managing glucose. Enjoy strawberries plain or with meals as a naturally sweet option that stays gentle on blood sugar. Even with strawberries, portions matter because larger bowls still increase the total sugar your body must handle. Eating strawberries with meals helps keep blood sugar changes smoother than eating them alone. Adding sugar, syrups, or sweet toppings turns a safe fruit into something much harder to manage. That's why strawberries work so well as a daily, heart-friendly fruit choice for stable blood sugar. Blending strawberries into sweet drinks removes chewing and often adds sugars, changing how quickly glucose appears. Keeping strawberries plain preserves their benefits and helps your body handle their natural sugars calmly. Small, regular portions matter more than occasional large servings when managing blood sugar. With strawberries complete, let's move to number 4, a tropical fruit that often surprises people. Number 4 is guava, a tropical fruit many people avoid unnecessarily, despite its very gentle effect on blood sugar. Guava has one of the lowest glycemic index and load values among fruits, even compared with berries. Its dense natural fiber slows absorption and helps you feel satisfied with surprisingly small portions. That combination of fiber, low sugar impact, and satisfaction is exactly why guava ranks so high. Even with guava's low sugar impact, portions still matter because excess adds unnecessary load. Eating guava with meals helps slow absorption and keeps blood sugar changes smoother. Natural fructose in whole guava isn't harmful when eaten in its intact, fiber-rich form. That's why guava is a tropical fruit you can enjoy with confidence and control. A common mistake is pairing guava with sweetened foods that undo its naturally gentle glucose effect.
Eating guava on its own or with balanced meals keeps its benefits intact.
Guava's texture and fiber make small portions surprisingly filling for most people. With guava complete, let's move to number 3, a unique fruit that stands apart from the rest. Number 3 is avocado, a true exception that barely raises blood sugar when eaten thoughtfully. Avocado has one of the lowest glycemic index and load values of any fruit. Its calories come mainly from healthy fats, not sugars, which is why glucose stays stable. That unique fat profile is exactly why avocado stands apart from other fruits. Avocado is gentle on glucose, but calories still matter, so portion size remains important. Too much avocado can lead to weight gain, which over time makes glucose control harder.
Yeah.
For most people, half to one avocado a day is the sweet spot for benefits without excess. Used strategically, avocado is one of the most powerful tools for steady blood sugar. A common mistake is pairing avocado with refined carbs, which undermines its glucose stabilizing advantage. Avocado works best when paired with protein and vegetables, not bread or sugary sauces.
Yes, that makes so much sense.
Using avocado regularly, but in controlled amounts, supports balance without pushing calories too high. With avocado complete, let's move to number 2, a fruit many people enjoy without fear. Number 2 is peaches, a familiar fruit that remains gentle on blood sugar when eaten mindfully. Peaches have a low glycemic index and a modest glycemic load in normal portions. From prediabetes to type 2, peaches can fit into many glucose management plans. Their balance of fiber and natural sweetness is exactly why peaches work so well. Peaches are gentle, but portion size still determines how much sugar your body needs to manage. Eating peaches with meals helps keep blood sugar responses steadier than eating them alone. Canned peaches in syrup change everything, adding sugars that push glucose much higher. Fresh peaches, eaten mindfully, remain one of the easiest fruits to enjoy safely. A common mistake is adding sweetened toppings to peaches, which quietly increases sugar without adding benefit. Peaches don't need sugar or sauces. Their natural flavor works best as it is. Because peaches are aromatic and juicy, smaller portions often feel more satisfying. With peaches complete, let's move to number 1, the standout champion on this list. Number 1 is cherries, the standout champion for stable blood sugar when eaten fresh and in control. Fresh cherries combine a low glycemic index with a low glycemic load, making them remarkably gentle on glucose. Cherries also provide natural compounds that support blood vessels, an important advantage for long-term metabolic health. That balance of gentle sugar impact and vessel protection is exactly why cherries earn the top spot. Even with cherries, portion size matters, because eating beyond a serving increases total sugar load. Eating cherries slowly helps you notice fullness sooner and avoid mindless overconsumption. Always choose fresh cherries, never those preserved in syrup, which behave more like candy. That's why fresh cherries remain the gold standard for enjoying fruit with stable blood sugar. A common mistake is hiding cherries in sugary desserts, which removes their advantage for glucose control. Counting cherries instead of eating from the bowl helps you stay within a safe portion. Because cherries are small and sweet, it's easy to eat far more than you intend. Use cherries with awareness, and they remain one of the safest fruits for stable blood sugar. We've just covered the green zone, fruits that consistently support stable blood sugar when eaten with awareness and balance. Notice that none of these fruits are forbidden, because long-term success comes from informed choices, not fear. What matters most is choosing well most days, not eating perfectly every single time. However, not all fruits behave the same once they enter your bloodstream. Now we're moving into what I call the yellow zone, fruits that require more attention and restraint. Caution does not mean avoidance. It simply means slowing down and choosing portions wisely. Some fruits deliver sugar faster, others deliver more of it, and that difference matters. Let's look closely at the 5 fruits where understanding portion and timing becomes absolutely essential. Now we enter the yellow zone, fruits that aren't forbidden, but demand greater awareness and restraint. These fruits affect blood sugar differently, either by delivering sugar faster or in larger amounts. Caution doesn't mean you can't enjoy these fruits. It means you approach them intelligently. We'll now look at each fruit in turn and explore the key lessons they illustrate. Fruits become riskier when sugar enters the bloodstream too fast or in quantities your body struggles to manage. In real life, it's rarely the fruit itself, but the portion size that turns a good choice into a problem. Eating these fruits alone versus with meals can make a meaningful difference in blood sugar response. With that foundation clear, let's begin with the first fruit that requires extra caution.
Agreed.
The first fruit in the caution zone is mango, delicious and popular, but far more demanding on blood sugar than most people realize. Mango's sugar load is high enough that fiber can't fully offset how much glucose enters your bloodstream. Adding seeds or nuts may slow absorption, but it doesn't reduce the total sugar your body must handle. Mango isn't forbidden, but it requires smaller portions and careful timing to avoid sharp glucose rises. With mango, portion size matters more than frequency, because even small increases raise total sugar quickly. If you choose mango, eat it with a full meal, never alone, to soften its impact on blood sugar. Mango works best as an occasional choice, not something you eat every day.
Enjoy mango rarely, in small portions, and always with meals to stay in control.
Blending mango into drinks removes chewing and often increases portions without people realizing it. Eating mango whole makes portions visible and helps slow how quickly sugar enters your system. On days your blood sugar is already high, Mango is a fruit you should skip entirely.
Handled carefully, mango can fit occasionally, but only with awareness and restraint.
Mm-hmm.
Next is pineapple, a fruit that tastes light and refreshing but can challenge blood sugar more than people expect. Pineapple's acidic taste hides the fact that it delivers a significant sugar load. Its glycemic load is high enough that portion control becomes critical, even when fiber is present. Pineapple isn't off limits, but it requires smaller portions and careful timing. With pineapple, the difference between a safe choice and a spike often comes down to portion size. Pineapple should always be eaten with a full meal, not by itself. This is not a fruit for daily use, but an occasional choice when portions are controlled.
When handled carefully, pineapple can fit occasionally, but it demands respect for portion and timing.
Canned pineapple in syrup concentrates sugar and removes most of the safety of fresh fruit. If you choose pineapple, fresh pieces are far better than canned or sweetened versions. On days your blood sugar is already elevated, pineapple is a fruit best skipped. Handled carefully, pineapple can fit occasionally, but only with clear limits. Bananas are popular and nutritious, but they can raise blood sugar faster than most people expect. A banana delivers a large sugar load quickly, which makes glucose control harder.
I see.
As bananas ripen, starch turns into sugar, making very ripe bananas far more challenging. If you choose banana, keep portions small and avoid very ripe ones. Bananas offer potassium, but portion control must come first when blood sugar stability is the goal. If you eat banana, pair it with a full meal rather than eating it alone. Bananas work best as an occasional choice, not a daily habit. Handled carefully, bananas can fit occasionally, but only in small portions and with meals. Blended bananas remove chewing and often hide larger portions, making sugar enter the bloodstream faster. If you choose banana, a slightly green one is gentler on blood sugar than a very ripe banana. On days your blood sugar is already elevated, banana is best avoided altogether. Used thoughtfully, bananas can fit occasionally, but they require clear limits and awareness. Papaya helps digestion, but its sugar profile means it deserves extra caution for blood sugar control. Papaya's enzymes aid digestion, but they don't cancel the amount of sugar it delivers. With papaya, even a little extra can shift it from helpful to problematic. Papaya can fit occasionally, but only in small portions and not as a daily habit. Papaya is better tolerated when eaten with a full meal rather than on its own. Papaya should be an occasional choice, not something you rely on daily. Blending papaya into drinks removes chewing and often increases how much sugar you consume. Handled thoughtfully, papaya can support digestion without disrupting glucose control. One common mistake is assuming papaya is harmless and eating portions far larger than intended. Very ripe papaya contains more available sugar and should be eaten in even smaller amounts. When your blood sugar is already elevated, papaya is best avoided that day. Used with restraint, papaya can be helpful, but it always requires awareness and control. Grapes seem harmless, but their sweetness and size make them one of the easiest fruits to overconsume. Because grapes absorb quickly and are easy to keep eating, sugar can add up before you notice.
Yes.
Never eat grapes straight from the bunch. Counting them is the safest way to control portions. With grapes, strict portions and mindful eating are essential to keep blood sugar steady. Grapes contain antioxidants, but those benefits never cancel the sugar load from overeating them. If you choose grapes, eat them with meals, not alone, to reduce rapid glucose swings. Grapes are best enjoyed occasionally, not as a daily snack. Fresh grapes are safer than dried forms like raisins, where sugar becomes highly concentrated. One trap is hiding grapes inside desserts, where added sugars erase any natural advantage. Serve a portion, put the rest away, and stop there to avoid mindless overeating. Just serve, then stop.
Yeah.
When blood sugar is already elevated, grapes are best avoided that day. Handled with discipline, grapes can fit occasionally, but they demand the most restraint. Now we reach the three most dangerous traps that sabotage blood sugar, even when fruit choices seem correct. These traps are often more harmful than the fruit itself because they multiply sugar exposure without you noticing. The first trap is so common that many people don't even realize it's harming them. Let's start with dried fruit, a trap that concentrates sugar into a dangerously small package. When fruit is dried, water is removed but sugar stays, making each bite far more concentrated. Dried fruit delivers a massive sugar load in a very small volume, overwhelming control mechanisms. Raisins, dates, prunes, and dried apricots all behave more like candy than fruit. For blood sugar stability, dried fruit is best treated as candy and avoided entirely. Dried fruit looks small, but each handful equals multiple pieces of fresh fruit in sugar. Snacking on dried fruit throughout the day stacks sugar loads again and again. Even without added sugar, dried fruit concentrates natural sugars to risky levels. Recognizing dried fruit as a trap is one of the fastest ways to improve glucose control. Portable dried fruit makes it easy to overeat without noticing, especially while traveling or driving. Choose fresh fruit or nuts instead of dried fruit when you need a portable snack. For blood sugar stability, the simplest rule is to skip dried fruit altogether. Once dried fruit is off your list, controlling glucose becomes noticeably easier.
That's right.
Fruit juice looks healthy, but it strips away fiber and delivers sugar faster than most desserts. When fiber is removed, sugar hits the bloodstream rapidly and causes sharp spikes. One glass of juice often contains the sugar of 3 or 4 fruits without the fullness. For blood sugar control, whole fruit is always safer than drinking its juice. Chewing whole fruit slows digestion and helps you feel full, something juice can never do. Drinking juice at breakfast often triggers high readings that set the tone for the entire day. Swap juice for a whole fruit alongside protein to keep glucose steadier. Removing fruit juice from your routine is a powerful step towards stable blood sugar. Refilling a glass of juice quietly multiplies sugar intake far beyond what most people intend. Even 100% juice contains concentrated natural sugar that behaves like a rapid dose. When it comes to fruit, the safest rule is to eat it, never drink it. Once juice is off your table, blood sugar becomes far easier to manage. The third trap isn't the fruit itself, but how ripe it becomes before you eat it. As fruit ripens, starch converts into sugar, making very ripe fruit much harder on blood sugar.
Yes, I get it now.
The sweeter and softer the fruit tastes, the faster sugar enters your bloodstream.
Choosing fruit that's just ripe, not overly soft, helps keep glucose changes gentler.
Yes.
The same fruit can act very differently depending on how ripe it is when you eat it. When fruit becomes softer, sugar is absorbed faster, creating sharper glucose rises. Waiting until fruit is very sweet and soft increases its impact on blood sugar.
Yes, that's right. I understand.
Eating fruit a little earlier, before it overripens, is a simple way to protect glucose control. Many people wait for fruit to become very sweet, not realizing that sweetness signals faster sugar absorption. Choose fruit that's firm, lightly colored, and fresh, rather than soft and overly sweet. If fruit feels overly soft or smells very sweet, it's better to skip it that day. Managing ripeness is a simple habit that prevents unnecessary blood sugar spikes. We've covered what to choose, what to limit, and which habits quietly undermine blood sugar control. If this has felt confusing or overwhelming, remember, you're not failing. You've just been given mixed advice. Don't change everything at once. Start with one meal, make it balanced, and build from there. Small, consistent choices create meaningful improvements over time. Breakfast shapes glucose patterns for the entire day, so getting it right matters more than most people realize. Starting meals with protein and fiber helps slow digestion and keeps sugar changes smoother.
That makes perfect sense.
The best plan is one you can repeat calmly, not a perfect plan you abandon. With the right knowledge, you always have options, and that gives you control. If today's guidance helped you see fruit differently, this channel exists to support you every step. Subscribe to Health Hack Hive for practical, science-based guidance designed for healthy aging. Like this video, share it with someone you care about, and tell me where you're watching from. This content is educational and supports informed conversations with your healthcare professional. Consistent learning builds confidence, and confidence leads to better everyday health decisions. Millions face the same challenges, and learning together makes the path clearer and lighter. Tell me one small change you'll start with. Your answer may inspire someone else. Knowledge gives you options, and options give you control over your health. Everything you learn today is meant for real life. Simple steps you can actually use. We share new, practical guidance regularly to help you stay informed and confident. If this helped you, share it with someone who might need clear, calm guidance. Thank you for spending this time with Health Hack Hive. Take care, and I'll see you next time.